Hi fellow traders, I hope everybody's having a great weekend. I know it has been a very, very beautiful weekend here in Columbia. I think it's been like this all the way across the state of South Carolina. So it's been an excellent weekend. Got to take some time off a little bit, enjoy some time with my son on Friday. Saturday, got to go see my daughter and hang out with her a little bit, and get some much needed rest. You know, for the last couple of weeks, I've been dealing with a cold. You guys probably know. And you know, the only way to really get over a cold is to rest. And I haven't been able to do that. Just haven't had time. Too much going on, too many things, too many irons in the fire. But finally got that much needed rest. And I feel so much better, so much better. But you know, one of the rules that I've had, and yeah, I broke it, was, you know, whenever you are sick and you're taking some drugs that can alter your mental state, and yeah, cold medicine does do that, you should not trade. I learned that lesson a long time ago. Fortunately, I'm a little bit better at trading now. So, you know, even though I struggled, I made some bad decisions because I wasn't really thinking clearly, I was able to trade my way out of them. So, you know, but it has been a little more of a struggle these last 2 weeks than it should have been. But still made a ton of money, so I'm very happy about that. But before I go on, I need to answer my one little troll guy here, because every time I don't do a recap video, my email gets blown up saying, why, you know, did I lose big? Is that the reason why I didn't do a recap video that day? Or you don't want to share your losses? Well, here's the deal, guy. If you were in the community, you would see it every day live. I can't hide my losses. But if I don't have time to do a recap video, then I'm not doing it. You know, I got to spend time with my family. Well, Thursday was parent-teacher conference, and then we went out afterwards and all of that. Friday, I spent the night with my son, went to a basketball game, hung out with him. Saturday, got to spend time with my daughter and go to a production that, you know, she's in the theater department at her school. And it was just an incredible weekend. Plus, got to get some rest, get over that cold. And, you know, yeah, I had one losing trade on Thursday, but I had some winning trades. I ended up green by like a little over $100 on Thursday. Friday, I had a losing trade, but a couple of trades on TVIX, and ended the day almost $1,000 green. So I had 2 green days. I'm not hiding any losses. I just didn't have time to do recaps. So I recap losers and winners. And if you're in the community, you get to see them happen live. So that's that. I hope you understand that. So this morning in our strategy session, in the swing trade watch list session, we talked about, you know, October and the significance of it. You know, October was the worst the worst month for this market since 2011. We lost almost 7% in October. And what's significant about this, if you are one of those that believe that history repeats itself, the last time back in 2011, when the market sold off, I think then it was over 7%, maybe almost 8%. The next month, we had over a 10% growth. So the market rebounded strong. It just shot right up. So I'm not saying that's going to happen again, but that's something that we could look at. as potentially happening. So it'll be interesting to see. You know, like I said, the sell-off, I felt that this is just a correction. That's just my personal feelings. Even though I really want this to be the start of a bear market and we get some really good panic going, you know, that would be very profitable for me. I don't think that this is what it is. I think this is just a small correction, and we're probably going to bounce because, okay, and I don't think the midterm elections are going to have any effect on it at this point. It's kind of too late now. If it was, we would have seen it by now. And the only thing I think we got out of it was a little bump that we got last week. They're trying to bump the they're trying to, you know, bump the market in order to make their party look good. And it's something that both parties do. I'm not blaming it on one party or the other. I don't really care. All I care about is how it's moving the market, and I can profit off of it. You know, that's all I care about that. So you just have to sit back and let things, you know, work themselves out. So I think the news with China, and I think China is very smart. They know that this president needs this to work, and it needed to work big. And they know that they're in a good bargaining position at this point. So I think they're going to play that to the T. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens going forward. Plus, we had another good jobs report last week. So things are looking up, which is why I don't think we're going to go into a bear market just yet. So we'll see what happens after Tuesday and what the rhetoric is and how things shake out. But it's going to be pretty interesting. So one of the things that I had a lot of requests for was to bring back my profit calendar. I quit doing that because I was starting to focus on the profits, and that kind of took me out of my game. So I'll roll that back out starting this month. We'll start it for November, and we'll run it out for you guys that want to keep up with that. But you know, I tried to recap. If I missed a couple days, I would try to catch you up with the recaps so that you could kind of follow along and, you know, keep up with what I was doing. But I'll go back to doing that. I think I have healed myself, and, you know, I'm strong enough to be able to put out my profit calendar every week. So we'll be doing that. Also, I'm going to do a monthly subscription special. There's a lot of you guys out there that are on the fence, that don't know whether they want to pull the trigger or not. You don't know whether I can help you or not. So look out for later on today. I'm going to put up a special for you guys that want to join for a month. You join a monthly subscription, you can hang out with me until the end of the year. And there's always a very, very good yearly subscription deal. You know, a lot of you guys took advantage of it last year. You may want to take advantage of it again this year. But it's a lot better than you think. You know, you guys that took advantage of it last year, you know exactly what it is. But they say I'm getting it this year, so I will be passing it on. They're actually opening it up early for Thanksgiving, but you know, most of you guys will be with me to the end of the year, so that's where we'll focus on that. Also, I still have that quarterly special I did along with the Sure Trader webinar. That you get 6 months, and you get access to all the classes. You get some one-on-one time with me where I can help you sort your trading out if you're having issues with consistency and all that good stuff. So, you know, you can take advantage of that. You know, I'll have that link up too. So, you know, you guys look out for that. So the question that I got today was, you know, why can't I be consistent? You know, why am I not consistent? Why can't I be consistent? I put in the time, I've done my learning. You know, what's causing me not to be consistent? Well, the bottom line is the market is random at best. Okay? You can't predict it. It's very difficult to predict what's going to happen in the market. And, you know, trying to predict it without a whole lot of understanding and not really knowing what's behind everything is difficult. You know, so you end up relying on luck. And that's what most traders do. You know, they put it in and they rely on luck. And luck in day trading, I mean, yeah, you definitely need a certain degree of luck. Because no matter how much preparation we do rely on some luck. Because you guys see, I build my watch list every day. I have a watch list, and a lot of times I can have 3 or 4 stocks on my watch list, and I picked the wrong one. Everything else works, and I end up picking the wrong one. You know, a lot of that has to do with just bad luck, and me just being, you know, just having tunnel vision. You know, so it's frustrating sometimes, but you know, that's part of what we just have to work through as traders. You know, I'm trying not to say bad words when I think about it, so that's why I'm pausing, because I don't want to say the wrong thing. But you know, so, you know, why do these investment banks, they win like 90% of the time, and we lose like 10%, and we lose 90% of the time, most traders? You know, why does that happen? I mean, number one, they've got the money to withstand larger drawbacks, because oftentimes we get shaken out of moves before they ever happen, which is, you know, gets frustrating sometimes. But, you know, hey, that's just the way things are. You know, plus they have they're able to hedge, so they can be in it both ways and, you know, take advantage of whichever way it breaks. So we just don't have that ability. So we have to stop focusing on that and start focusing on what we can do, what we can control. No, that's what it boils down to. So, you know, how do we improve our consistency in the market? You know, how do we improve that? So we've got to have a process every morning. Every morning we've got to have a process to prepare mentally and to vet each stock, you know, that we put on our watch list. If we don't have that, then we're starting our day off on the wrong foot. We've got to have a plan for each trade. Each stock that we have on our watch list, we need to have some type of plan for it. Now, I'll look to make a plan for it going to the long side or the short side, either way. And when I'm looking, if I can't see a short and there's no room for a short, then there's only a plan for the long side. And if I don't like it long, then I'm not going to look to trade it. It's just that simple. So, you know, you got to have a plan. And it just takes time to develop it. You know, too often people just want, they want a stock and they want to know when to get in, you know, what price range to get in, and then what price range to get out. That's all they want. And then they'll go and try to do it. You know, that may work every now and then, but there's no consistency in that. You can't consistently make a profit and grow your account doing it that way. You have to actually learn what you're doing. I hope I don't get hit by a golf ball. I've made it to the golf course now. But you know, you've got to make sure that you have a plan. You know, once the market opens, then you focus on executing that plan with an emphasis on nailing the entry. The entry is everything. The entry is everything in day trading. If you get a bad entry, you kind of screwed up. You know, I was trying something different Friday. Entering a stock on SSR. I got a 50-cent slippage because the thing dropped. I hit it in the trap. The thing dropped. The stock dropped like 80 cents or 70 cents right when I was trying to get in it, because you know you couldn't use the market thing anymore. That's not working. So I'm trying something and it didn't work. I got a 50-cent slippage on my entry, and I did get 80-cent move from my entry, but on 100 shares, that's not enough for me. So I didn't take profit. The stock never came back. I ended up, you know, losing on that trade. That was the one losing trade I had Friday. And then, you know, TVIX, with the market selling off like it did in the middle of the day, that really helped. You know, we made some good money off of it. But, you know, it's nailing the entry. The entry is going to be the focus on everything we do. Once we nail that entry, we can just sit back and let the trade work. It's either going to hit our profit targets, or it's going to turn around and stop us out. But either way, we have to do it according to our plan. Now, last but not least, you want to be able to reflect on your trades, especially the losing ones. And I'm going to tell you, reflection, let me take my glasses off so you can see. Reflection is a very, very powerful tool. Too many traders dismiss it. They don't take time to reflect on their losing trades. Real good traders, professional traders, they reflect on their losing trades, so they can continue to learn and see, is the market shifting, so they can stay ahead of the game. That's how they stay solvent in this industry. And that's the only way that we're going to continue to be consistently profitable. If we go through a losing streak, guys, we have got to reflect on our trades, to figure out, is there a pattern developing? You know, what can we see from these losing trades? Now, yeah, we're going to reflect on winning trades because we want to continue to do what we're doing right. But the focus is on trying to turn as many losing trades into winning trades as we can. Now, they're going to be losers. They're going to be stocks that just set up and don't work. And there's nothing we can do about that. But the ones that we can, the ones that show us signs of a shift in the market sentiment, or, you know, the way it's reacting, we've got to stay on top of that. And the big thing is, do not overtrade. If you overtrade, you're going to kill your consistency. If you take boredom trades, you're going to kill your consistency. That's why I would get up and walk away when the market is not doing what I want it to do. I would get up and walk away and leave it alone. And you got to be able to do that. I know how tough it is. There were days where I would take off work and I just wanted to trade and the market wasn't conducive to trading. In those days that I did that, a lot of times I forced myself to take trades that weren't there. And you can't do that. There's no way you can do that. You guys, if the market is not there for you, for your strategies, you know, take a break. Now, I go out and cut the grass, or I'll find something to do outside to take my mind off of what's going on at that point, and I can come back 30 minutes later and be chilled out. But if you start to feel that itch that you got to take a trade and all that stuff, then, you know, hey, don't fall for that. So those are my key things. Now, obviously, there's more that we can talk about. There's more that I teach. But if you focus on these key things, you know, preparing mentally, and having a process to find stocks that you're going to trade, to vet them, to make sure all of that's consistent. And when the market opens, focus on execution, focus on your entry, and making sure you get the best entry that you can. And just make sure you're executing. You know, that's going to be key. And at the end, make sure you reflect on your trades. You know, when I do a recap at night, when I'm showing you the chart that I've taken a snapshot of, that chart and everything, all the data on it, that goes into my journal. That's my way of reflecting. What I'm sharing with you is my reflection process. And that goes into my journal. So you know, I spend a lot of time reflecting. So that's what helps me continue to be consistent, to correct my mistakes, and to continue to grow. So hope this helps you out. Hope this answers you guys' questions who asked me about that. I'm getting ready to go, as Jed Clampett would say, I'm getting ready to go shoot some golfs. You know, I got my shotgun loaded up with my sticks, my golf bashing clubs. So we're going to go out here and see if we can kill some white balls here. But you guys have a great evening. I mean, a great Sunday. It's not that late yet. A good rest of the afternoon. And we will see you first thing in the morning.